Have you ever felt like you just don't fit in? Like no matter how hard you try, you're just different? This is the story of one little duckling who felt exactly that. But what he didn't know was that his difference was his greatest gift. Let me tell you the tale of the ugly duckling. In a peaceful meadow, tucked away behind rows of golden sunflowers, stood a small, cozy farmhouse. Not far from its red wooden barn was a sparkling pond, where cattails swayed gently and dragonflies zipped through the summer air. Beside the pond, nestled in tall grass, a mother duck sat patiently on her nest. Her name was Dora, and she had been waiting many days for her eggs to hatch. One warm morning, just as the sun peeked over the hills, her nest began to twitch. Crack! One by one, 6 fluffy yellow ducklings burst into the world. Dora quacked with joy. But one egg still remained, larger than all the others. Dora tilted her head. Well now, what do we have here? The other ducklings gathered around curiously. Finally, with a creak, the egg split open. Out stumbled a gray, lanky bird. His feathers were scruffy, his neck was long, and his wings were too big for his body. He blinked up at his new siblings. The ducklings gasped. "Oh, what is he? He doesn't look like us." Dora's smile faded. Now, don't be rude. He's your brother." But whispers began to spread across the pond. The duckling tried his best to fit in. He waddled like the others. He splashed in the pond. He even tried to quack just right. But no matter what he did, someone always laughed. "Why are your legs so skinny? Why do you sound funny when you quack? You look more like a goose than a duck." Even the farm cat, a sleek feline named Marble, chuckled when he passed by. The duckling shrank under the weight of every word. He didn't have a name like the others. Everyone just called him the Ugly Duckling. He asked Dora one evening, "Mama, am I ugly?" Dora sighed and wrapped her wings around him. "You are different, my dear. But different doesn't mean ugly. Sometimes, it just means you're not finished becoming who you are yet." But her words were no match for the stares, the snickers, and the endless teasing. One gray morning, after being chased by the rooster and laughed at by the sheep, the duckling made a decision. He would leave. Maybe somewhere out there, he'd find a place he belonged. With heavy wings and a hopeful heart, he waddled away from the pond, past the barn, through the fence, and into the wide, wild world. The sky stretched endlessly above him, and for the first time, he felt both scared and free. His first stop was a marsh where wild geese gathered. The duckling approached them carefully. "Hello," he said shyly. "Can I stay with you?" The geese looked him up and down. "You're no goose," said one with a honk. "Too small, too awkward," said another. And just like that, they took off into the sky. The duckling sighed and wandered on. Next, he came across a crooked little cabin. An old woman lived there with a hen and a cat. "Oh, a duckling!" she exclaimed. "You can lay eggs, yes?" I don't know," he stammered. "Well then, what good are you?" she grumbled, and shooed him out the door. Even the hen had clucked. "You don't even cluck properly." The duckling trudged away once more. As days turned into weeks and summer turned into fall, the duckling grew more alone. Leaves fell, winds blew, the air turned sharp and cold. He found shelter among some reeds near a frozen pond. He tried to stay warm, but winter was harsh. Snow blanketed the earth. The pond became a mirror of ice. The duckling huddled for warmth, wings wrapped around himself. He watched other birds fly overhead in V-shaped formations, beautiful, graceful, belonging somewhere. He whispered to the sky, "Will I ever belong anywhere?" Time passed. Slowly, sunlight returned. The ice melted. Buds bloomed on the trees. The world softened. The duckling, now older, stretched his wings, and they felt different, stronger, smoother. Curious, he stepped into the pond to swim. His reflection rippled beneath him, then stilled. He blinked. The bird in the water was not scruffy, not awkward. He had a long, elegant neck, smooth white feathers, a golden beak. He gasped. In that moment, a group of swans glided across the pond. They noticed him and curved their necks with grace. "Come swim with us," one called. The duckling hesitated. "But I'm not like you." They chuckled. "Oh, but you are." One swan swam closer and touched beaks with him. "You are one of us. You always were. You were just growing." Tears welled up in the duckling's eyes, not of sadness, but of joy. Word traveled quickly. The strange gray duckling had become a majestic swan. When he returned to the pond he had left, the animals were stunned. The pig dropped his apple. The hens fainted. Even Marble the cat blinked in disbelief. "Is that the ugly duckling?" "No," Dora quacked proudly. "That is my beautiful swan." And from that day on, no one ever laughed at him again. You see, sometimes life takes us on long, cold journeys. Sometimes we feel like we don't belong, like we're too strange, too slow, too awkward, too much or not enough. But the truth is, just like the duckling, we're growing into something beautiful. We are all swans in the making. So never let someone else's idea of ugly stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. Because the world needs your kind of beauty. And that, dear listener, was the story of the ugly duckling. A reminder that it's okay to be different. It's okay to feel lost. Because one day, your reflection will surprise you. And you'll finally see yourself for who you truly are. Beautiful.